Hey there, I just had to take a minute after we got back from church today to tell you a little bit about what went on. It was just like the pastor was talking about Clicks Gone Wild and our new venture. And I'm going to run over 2 or 3 little things there. He says today he was talking about God being a God of the underdog. And he asked some questions. He says, have you ever felt like you were an underdog? And of course, most of us have, as we got into some of our internet marketing businesses or network marketing businesses. We just felt like we were just starting out, and we just were underdogs in that business. He said, could you ever see yourself as becoming a lead dog? And of course, we all want to look at where we are and say, okay, we're not going to stay where we are. We're going to move on and become a leader in our business, whatever our business is or whatever we're getting into. He said, do you sometimes feel like your dreams are too radical? And other people might think that your dreams are too radical. You go out and you tell your family and your relatives what your dreams are, and they'll say, oh yeah, here's Jerry again. He's got these big dreams that are never going to come true, never going to come about. And it kind of makes us feel the same way. And he also says, have you ever felt like you've just not been connected to the right people at the right time? And I know we've always all felt like that. If I could just be sponsored by this guy, person A over here, instead of person B who I'm sponsored with, then we could be better, or we could grow our business better. And I feel like all that's over with Clicks Gone Wild. We're not really sponsored by anybody, but we know what to do with Clicks Gone Wild, and all we have to do now is execute. And that's what the message was about this morning, is getting off the couch and execute. And we heard in our teaching over the live streaming, he said there were 3 things to do. We had to listen, we had to learn, and we had to do, or implement, were the actual terms, implement. And in the message today, he said God wants us to do a new thing. And boy, I just thought, hey man, that's Clicks Gone Wild. Can you see yourself in church and the pastor talking to you, and he's talking to you about doing a new thing, and you're just started out on a new thing, and you're so excited about it, and you want it to happen, and you know it's going to happen. And in the message, he said that God wants us to do a new thing. He also wants us to be pioneers, which is, I feel like, exactly what we're doing. He wants us to launch out and get off the couch and do something. Don't just sit back, just get off the couch and do something. And he said, number 1, you got to overcome your fears. That is so funny, because that's what we're doing with our 90-day video thing. Trial or contest, if it's a contest, but our 90-day video, whatever we call that, expedition. After 90 days, we're going to have our self-confidence up. We're going to grow and everything that we need to grow in to become successful. And number 2, he says, overcome your excuses. Overcome your fears, 1. Overcome your excuses, number 2. So we don't have any excuses. All we got to do is get off the couch and do something. And in there, we saw several video clips in the message today. And our church is a little different. We have a lot of video. We saw a little bit of Underdog movies. And when you think about Underdog movies, what movies do you think about? Oh, of course, yeah, we talk about Rocky. And we saw a little video clip of Rocky, and then we talk about Braveheart, and we see a little bit of a video clip of Braveheart, and we talk about Rudy. All of these movies are Underdog movies, and we watch a little bit of these movies, and as part of the service today. And then one of the things that we tend to that he did talk about today was the fact that David was chosen to be king, was being anointed to be king, and Samuel went out to anoint him with king, and he said, Jesse, 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 do you have any sons here? And Jesse, you can just see Jesse standing up saying, oh yeah, I've got my sons here. So he went up and presented the first son, and Samuel said, no, that's not him. And he went and presented the second son, that's not him. All the way down through 7 sons, and Samuel went back to Jesse and said, Jesse, do you have another son? And Jesse said, yeah, I've got my little son out there in the field, David, that's tending the sheep. But he's not likely to be anointed king. And Samuel said, well, bring him on up here and let's see what's so about him. And basically we know the story from there is Samuel anointed David to be king, and David was the most unlikely of the 8 sons that Jesse had to be king, but he was anointed to be king. So that's basically it. The story is we're in a new thing. We're about to do a new thing. We've got to get off the couch. We've got to overcome our excuses. We've got to overcome our fears and get out and do something. And that's basically what we're doing with these videos. And can't wait till Clicks Gone Wild 2 is coming out. And everything's just going to be in order, ready to go. And we're all going to be famous and successful. So have a great day on Sunday. And I just had to follow up my first message with this one so you could at least hear that God is on the side of the underdog, and we're no longer going to be underdogs. So have a great Sunday.